Taliban minister flees after defying girls' education ban. In a stunning act of defiance, senior Taliban official Mohammad Sher Abbas uh, Stanikzai was has fled Afghanistan after boldly condemning the regime's oppressive ban on girls' education. Speaking at a graduation ceremony in Khost province, he declared, "There is no excuse for this, not now and not in the future," directly challenging the Taliban's hardline stance and exposing cracks within its leadership. Stanikazi warned that they were being unjust to 20 million people, emphasizing that even during the times of Prophet Muhammad, the doors of knowledge were open for both men and women. His rare public dissent sent shockwaves through the Taliban's ranks, prompting Supreme Leader uh, Hibatullah Akhundzada to issue a immediate arrest order and a travel ban. But Stanikazi had already outmaneuvered them by escaping to the UAE before he could be detained. Though he claims he left for health reasons, his sudden exile highlights a growing rebellion within the Taliban, as even some of their own leaders refuse to stay silent in the face of injustice. So, this was very interesting because there have been a couple of videos that have come out recently of Talibs um, coming out and decrying what is being done to girls' education. There was another video that came out. Actually, I asked you to pull it up here.
Wait, wait. These he did leave for he's actually being honest. He did leave for health reasons. Health as in staying alive. I
That's a
mean,
good point.
Taliban is bad for your health. To be
Yeah.
but
Um,
yeah,
where there was this video that came out of this Talib like straight up crying when talking about the situation. Um, we can play this. There's no subtitles and the audio quality is really bad. And when I listened to it,
oh,
it didn't sound like he was speaking Dari. So I don't know if you'll be able to understand it, Armin, but I think he was
okay.
maybe
Let's
speaking
see.
Pashto or some other language.
Let's see. Let's see. Why the fuck would you turn on the echo? The echo on the.
Can you understand him?
He's gonna. No, no. I don't understand it. But is he gonna cry?
Let me try to find it. Like, let's just skip forward.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
crying. He's crying. Wait, let's go back. Let's go back before he cries. Oh yes, passion. Oh, what is he crying about?
The status of girls' education.
Oh,
This was going viral.
I mean, it is. I mean, I was gonna make fun of him for crying, but this is actually, if you want to cry about something, this is actually a legit thing to cry about. This is gonna devastate Afghanistan. Is this, wait, so this guy is Taliban himself?
Yeah,
Wow,
or
I
that's how it
didn't
was
expect
reported.
this stream. I didn't expect a Taliban man crying and me agreeing that the thing that he's crying over is worthy of crying over. Like this is not. I did not expect that to happen on a stream.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And here's the video of the actual so this was a separate guy. And then this is the guy who fled to the
Ufle.
UAE. Um,
So should I go back and play it?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you could pause it and read the
Okay,
captions.
okay. We request the Islamic Emirate leaders to open the doors of knowledge. There's no excuse for this, not now and not in the future. During the time of the Prophet Muhammad, the doors of the knowledge were open for both men and women. Half our knowledge has been passed on by Bibi Aisha. So he's explaining, like, for those who don't know, a huge source of hadiths is, Aisha, the child bride of Muhammad, who's known as the mother of believers. So that's what he's referring to. Similarly, there were other female companions who were teachers to male companions. There were such remarkable women that if I were to elaborate on their contributions, it would take up a considerable amount of time. They were teachers of prominent scholars and jurists, imparting invaluable knowledge to them. Whenever men or women faced any issue, they would approach Bibi Aisha for guidance because she was a scholar. The Prophet said, "Whoever has 2 or 3 wives and does not maintain justice among them will be resurrected on the day of judgment in a state where half of their body will be paralyzed." Oh, he's got the tea. Today, we are being unjust to 2 million girls and women out of the population of 40 million. Excuse me, did I say 2 million? I meant 20 million. Will we not face the same condition on the day of judgment with all of us paralyzed? We have deprived women of their rights, no inheritance, no right to choose their husbands. Giving them away as compensation in disputes, not allowing them education, not letting them enter mosques. Closing the door of universities and schools for them, even barring them from attending religious ceremonies, seminaries. Are we truly following Sharia? Hello. The entire world today criticizes us for these issues, and this is the very problem they have with us. However, the path we are on is not one dictated by Sharia. It is our personal attitude, not Sharia's directive. And because of making these very mild claims, he now had to flee the whole country.
So I know how to push back against him Islamically, because he's suggesting that, taking away women's education and taking them away from the workforce is not Islamic. And he gives examples of Aisha and other women within Islam who were educated and were teaching men, and they were used as a source, okay, and a reliable source of teachings. And the pushback against that is, first of all, the examples he gave as women who were knowledgeable, they were knowledgeable in religion, right? So they were not knowledgeable in math, science, engineering. All the examples she gave, she like the Taliban would be like, yeah, we have no problem for women to go and be educated on Islamic studies specifically. Okay, we have the Taliban like we have no problem for that for women to do that. Okay, so your examples do not apply. Your if you want to use Sunnah, Islamic traditions. Two, the woman who you mentioned as an example. So no, it's not Taqiyya. Okay, so this guy is probably being genuine. Uh, two, somebody said Taqiyya in the lecture. I just want to respond to it. Two, the women who were educated Islamic, even in the examples that he gives, were educated by men within their household. They didn't go to a school for women to be religiously to be taught. There were no women's schools. Okay, there were these are women who were educated by either their husband or more likely sometimes by their fathers. Like many of so-called Islamic female scholars in Islamic history were daughters of men who were scholars themselves, and these are daughters who were passionate about what their father were studying, and they followed their example of their father. They didn't go to school; they were just in a household where they so saying like, hey, yeah, sure, we don't. The Taliban may say like, okay, we don't have a problem with that. If you are a scholar and your daughter is copying you and learning from you, that's fantastic. We will celebrate that. So these examples again do not hold. Okay. Um, so three, these are very small in number. So you could keep giving me like, oh, look at this woman, and this woman, right? And like, if you count all of these women together, they would not make 10. Like they'll hardly make like it's you wouldn't have like 50 of them. You probably would have a hard time to find 10 examples. But when it comes to religious scholars in Islam, when it comes to men, we have thousands and thousands of thousands, right? So, given the how few in number these Muslim so-called scholars are, which were in Islamic scholarship, not in anything else, this shows that these are exceptions. This is not the norm for a woman. The norm for a woman is to cook, clean, and take care of the children. So you keep using these few examples of women that we have as a way that this should be allowed. But if you're following the Islamic Sunnah, the Islamic tradition, the Islamic Sunnah makes it clear that the vast majority of women, the normal role for a woman Islamically, is for them to just take care of the household situation, right? So these are when you give these examples, you fail to mention to your audience how little in number these examples are. So that's the Islamic pushback against it. If somebody wanted to argue against it, right? But however, when it comes to as a liberal, from a Muslim, that would be my pushback. But as a liberal, I completely understand why this man is so worried. I don't think if people understand, like most people understand, that your people are your biggest resources when it comes to the wealth of a society, of a country. It's not your oil, it's not your gas, it's not your rare metals, it's not your fish, it's not your uh, nature, it's not any of that. The main difference between countries that fail and countries that succeed and progress and advance are which countries are taking the most advantage of their human resources. That's the main difference between advanced countries and not so advanced countries. And there is no more of a devastating damage that you could do to a nation than handicapping and paralyzing half of the entirety of your population. You know how you invest in your population? Do you know how you take the most advantage of your human resources? Is by investing in their education. There is no way, there's no more sure of a way for you to paralyze the growth of a country by stopping the education of 20 million out of 40 million of them. This is absolutely devastating for Afghanistan. I mean, Afghanistan is already devastated, but this is going to increase it by so much. And also, not only that, Afghanistan is going to get hit double because of this, because a lot of global relationships with Afghanistan is not happening specifically over this issue. And a lot of these people think like we cannot have a relationship with other countries as long as we're doing this to our women. So a lot of so yeah, this is, I mean, I'm not saying any good bright futures for, but this is a lot of people think like when we're talking about women's education in Afghanistan, this is a woman rights issue. Like we're only doing this because we care about uh women. This is way beyond. I mean, we do. I mean, people say like, "Oh, look at these girls. They really want to go to school and they're not being allowed to." And you feel sad for them because you see the girl crying, desperately trying to go to school, and you think the insistence on women's education in Afghanistan is because we just feel for that bad girl. I mean, we do feel bad for that girl, but this is so much beyond that. This is going to fuck an entire nation for decades to come. This is not just a matter of women's rights and that poor little Afghani girl who is desperate to go to school and we feel bad for her, so we want her to go to school. This is about ensuring decades of poverty for Afghanistan for years to come. It's way beyond that. So there's that.
No, I'm with you. I'm completely with you. Um,
Right.
should we go through the super chats
Comments.
or comments?
Wait,
God,
the
man,
comments
I'm
first.
all over
Yes.
the place today. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, it's okay. I got you. That's why I'm here. You're good at everything else that I'm not good at. So that's good. Anyways, here's this comment.
So this person is saying, I have no idea why they're banning it, meaning girls' education. Zero Islamic justification.
I told you the Islamic justification is that the Sunnah of the Prophet have made it absolutely clear for what the role of the woman is in society. Okay, and there are exceptions, but like for example, if you need female doctors for women to be treated, yes, sure, some women need to be educated for being a doctor, but that's
But they banned that.
like what I know. So that you could argue that that's not Islamic, okay? But even if you need that, that's like 1/10 of a 1% of women, okay?
Yeah.
And also, if you have Islamically, you have seen women participate in war. That's only when you don't have enough men to join. Those are exceptional situations. The Sunnah of the Prophet had made it very, very clear that the role of the woman is to cook, clean, have sex. Okay, I actually forgot the most important part. Provide sexual, keep the man sexually satisfied, and to produce as many children as possible, and to take care of the children. That's the Sunnah. That's the Sunnah. All right, let's continue. And this one,
Oh, Jesus
oh,
Christ.
what the fuck?
We have
What
a
the hell
we
is
have
this?
a Muslim here promoting the execution of this man who advocated just for a little bit of goddamn moderation.
Yes. Yeah.
He
This is crazy. Yeah. Then we have this one.
yeah, this person is just expressing their sympathies.
Yeah. Okay.
Um we have a comment that you highlighted that was just
Oh no.
Armin, do
I
you want
don't
to
know.
address this?
No, no. Is Toro Worldwide like angry with us, and then all of a sudden friendly, and then no, I'm just kidding, and then all of a sudden overly friendly. I don't know what this is. I don't know. It's not very Torah worldwide. I thought she was a religious person. I don't know. This is not very religious. This is not a
We're
very
all
religious
over the
request.
place.
She's saying, why just? She's saying, what? That was 20 minutes ago. Okay, so she's not into it anymore.
And it
She's
was
just like
sexual harassment 20 minutes ago.
She's like, I'm over it. That was 20 minutes ago. I'm not into that anymore.
I'm not like that anymore. I've changed.
Okay, okay.
You can't cancel me for things I
Yeah.
did years ago. I mean, 20 minutes
Yes,
ago.
20 minutes ago. She's living her
Um,
truth.
yes.
John. Yeah, Tora, she's having a laugh as well. By the way. Oh
GJ
wait,
gave a super
is this a
chat.
guy? Oh no.
Huh?
Oh, okay. Somebody saying this it's a guy. I assume she's a girl. Damn. Okay, so never mind. I had my hopes up.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
When Armin's being sexually harassed, he just, likes to assume it's women.
Yeah,
Um,
I try to. It's better for my mental health to assume that it's a woman. Okay, but go on, DJ.
GJ gave a super chat saying, oh, this is in regard to his last super chat, I think. The UK link with multiple Tommy Robinson rulings is that UK authorities are dead scared of seeing anti-Islam, of seeming anti okay, of seeming bigoted against Islam for 50 years now. Even UK tabloids say Asian when the perps are Pakistani. PS Fest equals confess. So GJ is providing us the decoder for the past several super chats he sent. Um, I've
This is
seen other
enigma.
people
That's
in the broader Asian community talking about how they're pissed about how the UK government and the media talks about these things. They're like, "Why are you making this about all Asians? Like, like the Chinese didn't have shit to do with this. Japanese and UK didn't have shit to do with this." Like, this is not about being Asian. Like, the Iranians in the UK didn't have anything to do with this. It's like Bangladeshis and Pakistanis. Like, come on, guys.
mostly Pakistan.
Poor Claire gave a super chat saying, "How did Armin get over the fear of hell? Even though I agree with the atheist arguments, every time I have anxiety attacks, I think about going back to Catholicism." Oh,
Oh,
oh.
that's okay.
If I
So
I think if I ever became Catholic or another religion, I would still have anxiety, and this might cause me to be a crazy obsessive convert. This is a real thing that happens in Catholicism in particular. I forget the name of it, but there's basically a name for when you have like religiously induced OCD. It's
right.
really debilitating, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I had that after I left Islam. I actually dreamt about going to hell after, even when I was an ex-Muslim, multiple times. The thing is that when I was studying other religions and how significant they were, because when you grow up a Muslim, Islam seems to be the main religion. But the more I get exposed to other religions, the more you come to the understanding that uh, even if there is a God, you probably picked the wrong religion given the number of religions out there, so you're still, that doesn't close the gates of hell to you. Okay, so like the anxiety, I mean, I knew it was ridiculous to believe in hell when I became an ex-Muslim, okay, but because I was brainwashed, it was still, the fear was still there for a while, right? But the more I studied the history of religion and the history of hell itself, okay, it became so more and more like fantasy the more I studied the evolution of religion. So basically it became so close to being worried, but what if vampires are real? And like, shouldn't I just put garlic at the front of my door just in case? Like, I don't feel that. Like I mean, I could be wrong. Vampires might be a real thing, and it might be a good idea to put garlic at the front entrance of my door just in case. So it got close to that level of just in case, right? When the more I studied how it became so identical to just a fantasy like vampires, that the worry for hell became as close to worry about vampires, right?
Yeah.
So
For
yeah.
me, I didn't ever deal with severe fear of hell, which is, created in us because we've been indoctrinated with phobias. Um and for me, I had a lot of other hangups about other issues in my life that was really debilitating in my life, and Armin knew me when I was working through all that, and it was horrible. But what helped me get over this, and I don't know if it would help you, was one, just going to therapy in general. Um, two, like specifically talking to someone who has some experience with religious trauma. Um, and three, when I sat down and examined the God question through as a purely logical exercise, and then
Mhm.
when I walked through it as a logical exercise, I came to the conclusion of like, "Oh, why am I being so hard on myself? Why am I judging myself? Why am I treating myself badly for the sake of a God that when I walk through just a logical argument, I do not believe exists?" Versus
Mhm.
when I had left religion for emotional reasons, I still was emotionally beating myself up. But when I just walked through it as a logical exercise, I was like, "Wait, then why am I holding myself to this standard if I don't even think there's, like, evidence to believe that this thing
Mhm.
exists?" And then that really helps me release a lot of it. So, I don't know, just sharing
Yeah.
my own personal journey as an ex-Catholic.
Yeah. And another thing
I
that
call
made
myself
me
a
nuts,
recovering ex-Catholic.
right? By the way, to fight the anxiety, it doesn't work to go back to the religion because technically you do not believe, and you're just doing like, and God, as we understood in Christianity and Islam, would not accept that as faith. You just covering your ass not to go to hell without believing, that is not faith. So that would not actually save you. Okay, so there's that. So that doesn't work as a way to reduce anxiety.
Yeah.
um
And, Carl gave a super sticker, just with no comment, just super sticker. Thank
by
you,
the way,
Carl.
Suze, I never heard you explain that. Yeah, thanks, Carl. Thank you for the super chat, guys. Today we got a lot of chats, so thank you so much for that. We need it. We need it for surviving. But Susie, I've never heard you explain your God belief in that way before, so that's pretty insightful. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, poor
Oh,
Claire. I don't know how. Hmm.
yes, sorry. Susanna, do you mean scrupulosity when you said religious OCD? Yes, I did, thank you, because there's no way I was gonna remember that word myself. Um, but it can
So
actually
Claire
be
is saying
very
yes, I
confusing.
worry. So Claire says, yes, I worry about that too. So Claire, consider studying the history of hell, okay, and where it came, like the evolution of it,
Just as an
and other
idea, as a
religions
meme. Think of it as a meme.
as a meme, as an idea. Yes, yes, that helped me a lot, right? Just to see how humans created hell. I mean,
As
there's
a
a short
story.
book. Yeah, yeah. I think I have a.
And also, I would encourage you to go read some books about religious trauma. And, what's the name of that program that's there's a support group for religious trauma if you're in the US.
Oh, recovering
Recovering
from
from
religion.
religion. Go look up
Mm,
recovering from religion. They do really good
yes.
work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't. You don't even need a book. You could just ask ChatGPT to provide you with a detailed explanation of the evolution of hell.
No, but I like in the books it often contains like first person narratives that helps people.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yes.
I like the book
That's
Combating Cult Mind Control by Stephen Hassan. That book changed my life.
right. But also just the idea of having an all-loving God that tortures people for not worshiping Him is absolutely insane. I mean, that
Mhm.
alone shows that your religion is nonsense. An
Yeah.
all-loving God that tortures people simply for not worshiping Him. That is insanity. Okay.
Yeah.
So
But thanks for the super chat and thank you for reaching out, you know? A lot of people have
Yeah.
gone through this experience, so there's a lot of resources out there for you. And I
Mm.
encourage you to go get that help. Seriously.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.